Prediction markets. So, a prediction market is a exchange traded market created for the purpose of trading an outcome of events. So, to simplify this for you guys, a prediction market can be viewed as like a mini Wall Street where the participants of the market buy or sell shares for a certain future outcome. But before I move on how prediction markets have influenced the business world, let me talk about the history. So, despite its recent popularity, prediction markets have actually been around for a long time. Prediction markets can be viewed as like a more advanced form of betting. But in the first known sighting of prediction markets, they were in 1503, where people would put money on who would be the Pope's successor. And even then, it was considered very old practice, and people used to bet on different things all the time. And it was not until the early 1900s, late mid 1900s, where this type of polling or markets became more prevalent, and people figured out how to use prediction markets effectively. So as technology improved, the form of betting became into sports games, horse racing, or even political elections, and people would bet on the future outcomes of these events. So one of the major use of prediction markets are for political elections, and the Iowa election market is one of the mainstream site that allows participants to buy or sell shares at a certain price depending on who they think will win the election. So, for example, in 2012, the Iowa electronic market predicted that 51% of the popular vote of the Democratic presidential nomination will go to Obama, and 49% of the Republican presidential nomination will go to Romney. So people were betting on this outcome and to see whether they'll win or not based on what they thought. So moving forward, I want to talk about how prediction markets entered the business world. And it was really thanks to Google, just because of how big of a risk they took trying to prove that prediction markets can be useful in the business world and more internally within the company. So Google was one of the first major corporations to use prediction markets to improve their company internally. They used these markets to allow their employees to make bets on different probability outcomes, such as the amount of Gmail users the amount of Gmail users in the next year, or when a project will be finished. The data collected from these markets would then be analyzed to see how to improve internal situations. Google's economic analysts would say that these trades or collection of data will allow the company to understand the employee's uncensored opinion, which would benefit the overall company's projects or different ideals. So, for example, the Google Home product was actually launched through a prediction market, and it has become so successful just because of how unfiltered the opinions were from the employees. So there are many different advantages to prediction markets to the business. There are four main, which include accurate results, improved decision making, unfiltered raw responses for employees, and the ability to be interactive, scalable, and flexible. So for accurate results, as I mentioned before, through the presidential election example, I said that 51% of the popular vote and 49% of the popular vote will go to Obama and Romney respectively. And when the results came out after people betted on the outcome, it found that 52% of the popular vote and 46.5% of the popular vote went to Obama and Romney. So this is just one of the many cases where these markets have been totally accurate. And if businesses adapt to using prediction markets, they will grow exponentially and gain an advantage over their competitors. It has also improved decision making, as seen by the Google example. Google was able to launch one of their biggest products by looking and understanding how the employees felt and getting their raw and unfiltered responses. And finally, these prediction markets are advantageous to businesses just because of how personal it can be to each business. It's interactive, so the employees and the company's employees will feel wanted. It's scalable to fit any situation and flexible for any type of person. So, moving forward, we look toward the future to see where prediction markets are going. So, even though it's very unknown and it has a slight increase of popularity, prediction markets are making a slow but sure traction with companies. For many years, this technological tool was unfamiliar. However, thanks to the companies like Google, it paved the way and opened the doors for this tool to be used effectively. As there will be a growth in technology, I'm sure that this prediction market will be used over and over again. And the most important thing is that this market would help each individual company gain a competitive edge just because of how specific and personable it can be towards a company situation, which can improve each company internally. So, overall, the prediction markets are just more than a casual bet that many people think it is. It can be very great to have, just to have to fix any situation, and knowing that employees will have fun with it. So, in a couple of years, I'm sure that prediction markets will be one of the greatest technological tools that businesses will have in the future. Thanks.